Now, it's important to discuss why we're here. New charges have been filed. New discoveries have been found. Last case, we were here for a fraud charge. The case was dismissed, which we'll get further into. We're going to get a little further into this as this video progresses, but the case was dismissed. So, but now there's another charge. We are here to discuss, first of all, the facts that April is not your past, Aaron. We agree. The court agrees that people can move on from their past, move on, things, whatever that. But April's not your past. It's not. April's not the past. April's 2 months ago. So if you were committing felonies 2 months ago, the court may find that you don't deserve said job that you got fired from, which we'll get to a little bit further because Queen of Accountability is still having a little bit of a problem. But we'll work that out with counsel. So let's get to this video.
Me and MTR have been getting a lot of hate from a lot of people. And I think it's really sad how when
y'all really weren't getting hate, y'all are getting held accountable for the fact that y'all did that conversation and it was founded to be untrue by this court and others. The conversation that you and him had.
Rhoda did this type of scam.
It wasn't a scam.
A lot of the men were praising me. I was their savior. They loved me. What's your cash app? But when a guy goes out and does it, you guys see a license and you think everything he says.
Here's the thing about that. If you watch my video, I showed you the utmost respect because I respect what you do, but that's the reason why I held you accountable, because I hold you to a certain standard. So therefore, the work that you do, maybe you judged him based off a character assessment, but that's not how the court works. So if you're going to do investigative work, you can't only do it based on one little thing. So your investigation was founded to not be thorough. It wasn't. It wasn't, Queen.
It's true.
It's not.
And I want to clarify that MTR told him to produce the license. Prove that you have a license.
I want to clarify, Queen. No, he did not. That is not what he did. He asked him about the job firing part. You got on there talking about him not actually having a license, and what you did. This is the mistake that you made. You mentioned later on in the video somebody telling you about holding an L. The L is lesson, Queen. You looked up Arizona and the licenses in New Mexico. That's just that. We don't have to keep doing this. Like, you went on a 30-minute rant after this. I only got your first 40 seconds. I only got to talk to you about a little bit of this because we can move on. You were wrong about that. So in the case of him frauding at GoFundMe, he did not do that. The documents that you said he would not be able to produce, he is going to be able to produce them, Queen. I promise you that. So we can move on from that. You got that part wrong, okay? You wrong about that. You are.
Way early in the game.
He did not.
And he just stalled and stalled and
That's
stalled.
not what happened.
And when I looked it up, I couldn't find the license. So when a license can't be verified, I'm going to assume you don't got one. I think everyone would think that.
And that's a fair assumption. However, you were wrong because you didn't look up all the places. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. But you can't continue to double down when you've been proven to be on that part of it wrong. Now let's move on. That was for you.
It's my job because of him. He vandalized my vehicle 4 different times. I had to file
Aaron.
Restraining orders. I have probably more than 15 to 20 police reports with the local police department for harassment. He broke into my home, vandalized
Aaron.
my whole home. It's about $10,000 worth of damage that he did to my vehicle. To my home. My vehicle as well. It was vandalized 4 different times on separate occasions from October to December. I've made numerous reports. It didn't stop. An officer, and they're like,
here's the thing about that, Aaron. We know that it's true. And the reason why I know that it's true is because you never even wanted to deny anything. You just started saying, I've done a lot of things in my past. So therefore, we'll just sift through what we believe and what we don't, which the court does very well. So we believe that you did that stuff. Okay. But here's the thing about it, because we're all relating this back to you and your job. So even though Queen thinks that there's nobody that had the proof of it, but there is, though. She just didn't do her due diligence, but that's okay. So when you're doing all this vandalism of homes and malicious destruction of property type of things, this is the type of stuff where people wouldn't want you in their homes. So now they're trying to deny it, but we're going to talk about it like it is. So it's not about people calling your job. Alleged five, I don't care if it's one time. It's not about somebody calling your job however many times. It's about what they're saying when they do. So you're an untrustworthy person for a different reasons than you was in a gang and robbed some people or something like that. I mean, not like saying that's something you forget, but I'm talking about in terms of being a plumber and doing housework. You have shown me to be malicious in this regard. We're gonna continue though.
Maybe he has like an air tag or anything. I didn't know how to look for any of that. And at this time, I'm just exhausted. I'm like, you know what? I'll just give him his cool off period.
Now, here's why I put that in here. It's important that, and it's gonna be a person, a woman who does what I'm talking about in one of these comments coming up. It's important that we understand how these cycles continue. The biggest enablers are the people who are the victims, you know. And because if he's doing all this stuff, she told a story about him yelling in her ear and all this jealous stuff and her trying to leave. And then after she does all that, all she wants to do is give him a cool off period. Well, he's going to continue to have these same. This is how you get 7 police reports. So we're not victim blaming you or nothing like that. But what we're saying is we can't always enter into these conversations and say, well, you don't know what it's like if you've never been in a domestic situation. Because if that's your answer for everything, then y'all can't talk to us about protection and all this other stuff. Like how they keep bringing in Rhoda into this. Rhoda's whole thing was men aren't protecting. No man protected. So my thing is this. If you can just go back after one little apology or whatever, how can you be protected by the people around you? You can't.
We start to try to look for food to eat, and I was going to order DoorDash for my son and I because we were hungry, and I was like, you know, let's just get some food and get some rest and we'll just go home tomorrow. He had one of those little like storage containers from Walmart that had like a couple of his clothes here. And so I was just thinking, okay, he can get his stuff later and that will be that. In my head, you know, okay, yes, he got a little irate yesterday, but I didn't know the severity and what he was capable of. So then we check out and he's like like I need that duffel bag, I need that duffel bag, and I'm sitting there like I don't want anything to do with this duffel bag. I don't know what this duffel bag has in it, but he also did state that like that his fingerprints are on it, and it could lead to something bigger. Now, mind you, I don't want to be driving around with this duffel bag in my vehicle.
You don't need to be talking about this. I don't even know. I think this is on here on accident. You don't even need to be talking about this. This is part of the stuff that I would have clipped out. They had a lot of story that's just not necessarily relevant to why we're actually here, but it's just women like to tell a lot of their stories. So this should even been in here. This particular little part.
Because I have my son in the car, and who knows what that duffel bag has in it. And I could get pulled over and I could get arrested for whatever is in there. I leave, I come home, I call the police immediately, and I tell them, you know, there's this duffel bag. I don't know what it has in it. I don't want to touch it at all. I don't want nothing to do with it. Then it literally takes them hours to get out to my house.
So you snitched for no reason, honestly. But whatever.
By the time I get to my house, I notice that my patio is open and my door is open. So I instantly knew that something was wrong. As soon as I walk into my house is trashed. There is
Hey, Aaron. Now, we would allege that you may or may not have done this. However, there are certain context clues to lead us to believe that it was you. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to go this far. I believe her story, but I don't even necessarily believe the part about the friend popping up in the middle of it happening. I don't even believe that part. But everything else, and because if the friend was there when it popped up happened, they should have been more of a character witness to that. They should have been evidence. They were evidence. So, but I just don't believe that part for some reason. But I do believe that you did this. And we'll get into why.
groceries thrown everywhere. My TVs are all broke. There's literally like eggs thrown everywhere, stuff all over my floor. Literally everything is damaged. We walk into my son's room. He stole my son's Xbox. He stole my son's monitor. Stole
Did you do this, Aaron?
my son's Cash App card. Stole all of his colognes. My door had been
Did you do this, Aaron?
broken down.
Or is it just all alleged, even though you left clues that it was you?
He stole all of my shoes, all my
And according to her, she has an eyewitness to you being there. I don't believe that part though, honestly. But I do believe that you did it, so it doesn't even necessarily matter, does it?
perfumes, all my lotions, everything that basically had value. He cuts my garbage disposal in my kitchen. He cuts one of like the, I guess you would call it like a tube in the master bathroom. We have two bathrooms and it's three bedrooms. He cut the tube so the water in my master bathroom would just drain onto everything.
And here's the thing about that, Aaron. That's specific to you. Reason being, how do you go to school and try to learn plumbing and then you using your skills for bad? You want to talk about people pushing you back to your old street life and all that shit. Okay. If people pushing you back to your old street life, you're still going to have your same skills as a plumber in your old street life. And so what you're showing right now is that that's what you do. So you'd still home invade, but um do plumber work while you're in the house. So that's crazy. And that's what makes me know that you did it. Like I said, I don't believe her story about the friend popping up. Just so happened the friend pops up in the middle of a home invasion and a vandalization. I just don't believe that. But it's just too convenient for this story. And it just seemed like it wasn't the truth. And then when we get to karma, it's going to further confirm why I don't believe this part of the story. But that's neither here nor there.
So everything was messed up. So like, and then this is the master bedroom. So this is the TV that he took off of my spare bedroom. Now
And we don't have to say alleged. Like normally the court would be saying alleged right now. It's not alleged. You actually did this. The court has found you guilty of this home invasion.
this is my
But I don't think there was an eyewitness to it like she stated. I just don't think that.
spare, I mean, this is the master bathroom, which I keep full of expensive perfumes. That's his blood still on my mirror that I cannot get off. If anybody has a remedy or a way to get blood off, this is the damage. He cut
Move. Google it.
my tubing. He stole everything from underneath there. Literally Febreze. That's how petty he was. He stole my Febrezes. He stole all of my cleaning products. And yes, he was posting me on TikTok. This is after I filed the restraining order.
What does that say? The court needs to read it. Wait a minute. Is that a wait a minute? Hold on. Is that a violation? Since individual to post my picture. Wait a minute. Is that? I don't know. I ain't never had no debate. I'm just saying, if we got a just random number, if we got to stay 2,000 feet away, I can't post a video. Is that? Somebody got to tell me that. I don't know. The court don't even know. The court doesn't even know. The court got to look that up. The court got to look that up right now. The court is looking that up right now. Because the court needs to know, is that an actual violation? Because at the end of the day, this is just her sending a message. So it don't matter if you reported it or not. Did it get taken down? Is it actually? We're going to see. The court about to see right now. Give the court 30 seconds. Give the court 30 seconds. It can be, wait. In person. No. No contact. No, it's not. So therefore, she did this, but it don't matter that she sent the message and said all this. But the point is that you were doing little petty stuff. This is part of the petty stuff you was doing. But this ain't no, it doesn't really necessarily matter. The court has found it.
So yes, there were I did take all the proper steps.
But, however, stop. We're not letting you any type of any hook. It depends on what you're saying in those videos. Were you saying malicious things? Because my thing is this. Oh, family and friends reaching out. I'm like, yo, if he's blocked, how you see it? I get it. But it has been founded that video is not part of the restraining order. It's part of is no contact.
I was filing and telling them, hey, like
and
I
hold
need
on,
these
trusted
videos.
one. Guys, if you're looking at the photos at the end of this video, you will see a plethora of police reports. I called
We have them.
every one of those
There's
cars
my
and
restraining
verified.
order.
Hold on, honey. I called everyone, and there's the police report right there. So all the
That's
idiots
the
who think he's
restraining
lying,
order.
the
Yeah.
restraining order, and then I think the police report
Because he was.
And the problem for that, Aaron, is because it's all started about your job. That Queen still has a problem understanding that you actually had, but you losing it comes when you're somebody that people wouldn't want to work with. So at the end of the day, it ain't about did you say qualified queen, all that stuff anymore. It's about are you your character. So your past does matter to your character. That's the same thing as your resume. So, like I said before we did this research, we was talking about just the fraud case. It depends on what you did to where how people accept you.
there are the police guys. Hold on, honey.
And that's
Bam.
not even all of them.
I know.
And I think they said this, but I may have cut it off or whatever. But I wouldn't want you to help my single mom or single baby mom or whatever, or any woman I know with some kids, because you seem to be violent. And there's proof of your violence.
That's not all. I wanted to give them at least 7. I think 7 examples should be enough for these idiots, right? Because a lot of them.
Look, listen, Queen. You got to understand. 7 examples should be enough for these idiots to stop staying with these type of dudes. 2, just a little bit. We got to throw that in there because it's important that we do. But carry on. It is. That's why I put it in here.
I don't believe you. I think that's 7 examples right there for you guys.
He texted them
of your police reports, Aaron. When you can't keep talking about your past if you keep repeating it. What did you do what have you done to say you're not still this abusive type of dude?
Owner where I work, and I had been at this job for 5 years. I made good money. So this little sob story that he's telling you guys about, oh, somebody kept calling his job, and oh, I lost my job, and oh, like I could probably never do this again, and oh my God, that's my story. That's what the fuck he did to me.
Record.
Here's the important part. And this is really just a question. This ain't, nothing against you. Why did they fire you? Before we talk to Aaron, we're going to talk to Aaron about what he did. Why what did they say? What did he say? Why did they fire you? Because all you said was he texts your boss. What did he text your boss? Because at the end of the day, even if he texts your boss, like what could he text your boss to make it to where you can't get your job back? Like even if he texts your boss some nudes, they're gonna fire you. They like, I didn't do it. You find out, like, I got some evidence. What did you text your boss? Hey, you fat piece of crap. I hate working here. You bitch. Your brothers are like, yo, what are we saying? I heard your kids got a broken toe. I hope he breaks the other one. Like, what are we saying that he could have said to where you couldn't have fixed it? Don't worry about it. I'll talk to him. Aaron, you know how you said you grew up without a father and you was figuring it out on your own? A man would have told you about all this vindictive, petty shit and why that's not manly. You calling her job. What her job shouldn't have fired her, but what? Not wanting to be with you. What is it? If I can't have you, you can't have no money or job, or what's up? What do you want, Aaron? So, I don't understand how you don't see the problem with what you're doing and you try to make it like it was a past, but we gonna get to that a little bit further.
Because I was expecting to record you doing something, as in cheating on me or like messing around in your car, and I was like, I was done. After that,
I
now stop. Before we get into this part, I want to talk about her because after all of the evidence that I've reviewed, the court still stands by everything that they said to this woman before. The court still believes everything that is true about her. And so what Queen of Accountability may not have known or doesn't care about or whatever is the fact that this girl told him that she was cheating. So whatever he may have done to prove it, we'll get into his actions here. It's totally different, but I'm talking about her. The reason why this happened to her isn't because he's crazy and because he's all that. It's because she was just as big of a liar as him. And she said and told him that he cheated. She cheated. So she talked about mental manipulation, but she was being mentally manipulative. So we don't take her serious. Her right here, we don't take her serious. She said he didn't abuse her. He ain't do nothing. She done got no receipts. She ain't had no real stories anyway. So her, we don't take her serious. But let's get into him though, because we're not here for her. But it's important that we separate the people. We believe, trust no one, even though we necessarily don't believe that one particular part about the friend being an eyewitness to the home invasion. We don't believe that particular part, but we believe all the receipts, obviously. We believe her. This girl, we believe nothing. Not a thing. Except the stuff that actually happened. Like, you did put the phone in, but we know why you did. But you put your own foot in your mouth here.
I have never heard of a smartphone in the car. Like, how long would a smartphone stay on? I don't. Those things are going to overheat after a while. Is it true that you put a smartphone in the car and you press the record button and just threw it back in there?
No,
you're lying.
Okay, blatantly, she's just making that up out of thin air.
Yes,
you could have told the truth, and this is what I'm saying. This is where you said you didn't grow up with a father. This is where one would have told you, son, integrity is about, even when it makes you look a certain way, tell the truth. Reason being, and I'm saying it like this, and people can take it however you want to. Of this particular thing right here, this particular thing, I would have defended that. Why? Because the girl admitted to lying to you and saying that she was cheating. So anything as in trying to catch her doing it, you do to prove it. That'd be like, it's no different than if we hire Peter Guns and Joey Greco to investigate the cheating, but they don't find nothing. What's the difference between that and you doing your own investigation? The difference is when you become a liar. She gave the reasoning why you wouldn't have looked at like a creep, but now you look like one. Now you look like a liar, which is worse than a creep.
She's making that up. Okay.
Come on.
I put the phone in the car. Like, you were struggling with the truth, trying to talk about not looking like a creep, but now you look like an abuser and a liar and a creep.
Let's talk about it.
This without sounding like a creep. So I'm trying.
You could have explained it without sounding like a creep. You honestly could have, but you lied first.
To choose my words carefully, you know, because they're gonna crucify me. So don't think
You're gonna get crucified.
nothing. But I had another phone. Okay, I did plumbing services with this phone. The location was on this phone. Now I'm in and out of her car,
and you left it in the car
all the time. I did know that the location was on the phone. Yeah, I always got location on both of my phones, but that's how I was finding out she was driving around too. Yeah.
So yes, the tracker in the car. So you had a tracker in the car, finding out she was driving around. So you were tracking her. I know why you were tracking her. You're tracking her because she was being she's untrustworthy. She's actually is untrustworthy.
So she's not lying. There was
no, technically she's not lying. She was lying to make you want to do it. You could have threw her under the bus, bro. If you wanted to do all this, you should have just came all the way clean. Like, yeah, I did it, but she was being manipulative. She admitted it out of her own mouth. So you could have said that. Like, yo, she was telling me she was cheating. So yeah, I did something to prove she was cheating.
There's a phone in the car that tracked where she was.
The phone. That's
just say yes.
That's why I was having a hard time answering this.
Because you don't want to say yes.
She's trying to make it seem like I just got up, threw the phone. No, I have my tracker on.
So you want to try to wordplay. How you doing, Aaron? I'm one of the masters of wordplay. You can't get around me. So now what you're trying to do is wordplay her wording to say he threw the phone in the car. She did try to make it seem like it was an altercation and you threw it in there. No, you slicked and did it though. She didn't know that you had did it. Why would she let you do it if she's seen you do it?
I have my GPS on there. And I remember.
And you tracked her.
Yeah, I remember we had an argument about me leaving the phone in there. Yes.
You had an argument about you leaving the phone in there and then using it to track her location. And you could have just admitted it, but now you make yourself look like a dickhead because you was trying to avoid the truth, but we already knew the truth. It's like somebody asking you a question they already know the answer to. I'm not MTR. I already knew. I did a little bit more research than he did. Actually, a lot more, but that's in the end of there.
Okay. With the GPS tracker on there. She said, yeah. I lied. Okay, yes. Okay, I lied. I lied to her. I told her I did an airdrop and left the phone in there, but I didn't. I don't even know how to do it.
See, and that's what I'm saying about them, Queen. This for you. That couple is liars. They're both liars. She's a liar. She said she lied to him to tell him that she was cheating. He's talking about he lied. He lied. He put the tracker thing in there, then lied about what he did. I put an airdrop, knowing he don't even know how to do that shit. So they just was some liars to each other.
Airdrop. But honestly, yes, the phone location, my location was on. I know she was cheating on me and stuff, so I did. If it sounds crazy, then fuck it, man. Whatever.
And you should have said that. No, ain't no fucking whatever. You should have admitted that. You should have said that first. Like, yo, she was cheating. But according to her, she said she wasn't, but I don't believe her. She admitted to telling you that she was, and then she said she did it because she was scared. So she admitted she lied about cheating because she was scared. Sound like to me, yo crazy ass, you seem like the type of woman she shouldn't have wanted a reaction from. But she was lying to get one. That's why we don't fuck with her, Queen. Out of all the three, she the one we don't fuck with because she's lying. She's the clout chaser for real. She actually is the clout chaser. That's why she don't have no receipts. She ain't had nothing, none of that other stuff. She's just a clout chaser. Real talk, Queen.
There is a child out there that is mine. Summon him, please. I'm a man that handles his responsibilities.
Oh, hey, hope you continue to.
Aaron, what the hell is this about? I'm gonna let her read this letter, but what the hell is this about, Aaron? And like you asked him, you specifically said he could ask you any question. I never watched that whole 5-hour live stream, but I watched bits and pieces of it and the highlights. You said he could ask you any question, and then when he asked you any question, you evade, and then you say stuff like to not hurt any lives and all this other stuff, man. Do you got the kid or not? What you mean to not hurt any lives? All this extra stuff, man. Come on, man.
Wake everyone up. You didn't lie about anything at all. And
actually, you kind of did, but that's
no one has painted him in a bad light. This is who he actually is, and nothing will change. I know he's located in Phoenix, Arizona. One address is his mom's, and the other is his dad's. Karma is really real. My son is great, and even better that he doesn't have that type of influence in his life. Thank you.
And I want to tell you that that last statement really kind of sucks for your son, that you speaking for him, because it's half of him missing. Maybe the half that you gave him to complete him was a piece of shit, but he's going to need that other half, or he's going to end up like a Aaron, having to figure stuff out on his own and having somebody that thinks he's okay with half of a person with him. But we're glad that you got away from the abuser, but you shouldn't have had a kid with the abuser. But that's neither here nor there. Go ahead and go off. But Aaron, back to you. Why you tell that lie? I'm trying to figure out what you meant by to protect someone's lives. Did she lie? Did she got some other dude thinking it was his kid or something? What is we talking about with that, bro? Explain yourself.
Asking why they haven't arrested him yet. You have to be there to be arrested. When someone is moving from state to state to state to motherfucking state, what y'all want them to do? He has to.
That's actually not the reason why. Because we looked at the police report. He never actually got charged with it. So state to state to state, they still got to charge you with it. But we admitted the police report in the evidence, even though he never actually got charged with that stuff. That's why he never faced accountability for it, because he never got charged for it. We believe that he did it for other reasons, which we'll get to in this video, but he never actually got charged for it. That's why.
To be there. So what you guys are not understanding, he's avoiding certain states because he knows they're looking for him. And to those who are new to
actually not
my podcast, I'm naturally loud. So nobody hurt me. I'm married. I'm happy. I'm just a loud motherfucker. So if that's too much for you, you are more than welcome to kick rocks.
He's going to hurt.
And the reason why I kept that part in there is because I think it's important that, especially as a Black woman, that's said. A lot of times people think any type of expression or emotion from a Black woman is bad attitude, and some of it be from sometimes, but everybody ain't that. Just because you raising your voice don't make you masculine and all that different shit. So I kept that in there just to highlight that. Go off.
Another girl. And even though he did not put his hands on me, it was very mentally abusive.
And this is what I'm trying to say about her. I would argue that your mother was mentally abusive to you because she told you never let a man pay any bills, because then he's going to think he can control you. So you've been influenced negatively your whole life.
I want you to have all your stuff done. And when I got home, he was still there. And he cried and begged and was like, just let's work it out. And in my head, I felt like I couldn't let go at first. I couldn't even believe he put the tracker in my car. So I was like, okay, well, let's try to make it work. And then it just kind of went downhill from there. Why?
It went downhill from there because y'all are both liars. And like I just said, and like I brung up with the other video when old girl said a cooling off period. This is how the abuse, well, you didn't have any abuse, old girl. It continues because all he could do is just cry and say, forgive me, and then you go back. But like I said before, you are the type of person that you said in your video, you said in this particular video, why would you, is this it?
Didn't you file any police reports? Because he knows where I worked. He still knew where I lived at the time because I hadn't moved yet. And he knows where my parents live. So think about that logically. Why would I do that at the time?
Because
so like I said before, not only are you the type of person that, like I said in my other video about you, any guy that needs a place to stay, he can just come live with you because your mom has taught you to not have a guy paying bills. And now you are an abuser safe haven because now Any guy that's an abuser knows that you're not going to report him, because why would you report him if he knows where you live? So any guy that knows where you live, you're never going to tell on him. And that, my dear, is reason number 480 why we don't take you out of the three. You are not taken serious. You're a clout chaser. You are the clout chaser. Not all these girls. Only you are the clout chaser.
Still saying the same shit. What does this got to do with a license? This has to do with him deceiving people to get money. GoFundMe money.
No, it doesn't, though. This is a character assessment. You got to move on from that one, Queen. Maybe you didn't even see Kites live or whatever, but he provided the proof that you were asking for. Everything you said he didn't have, he provided. Literally, the videos of him plumbing, the other pictures that you didn't see. You said he only used this picture, GoFundMe. He had other pictures. You should have checked his IG, and you should have checked New Mexico, sis. You got it wrong on that regard, okay? In that regard, you got it wrong.
So quit telling me how to do my investigative work because you don't want to be here and listen. You can leave.
Listen, you quit talking to the court like that. I'm telling you how to do it because I'm trying to keep you on point with your investigative work, because you got it wrong this time in that regard on the scamming funding thing. And then that's why I put this in here. I ain't say nothing about it, but it's important. This really happened, Queen. This really happened here, Queen. You couldn't prove that he wasn't a plumber, so you did this live about him, which is, it's okay that you did this live about him because it's important that people know this stuff about him. But because I didn't know it about him, it wouldn't have made a difference in the court's findings of the fraud, though, because he did you. So you weren't able to find that he wasn't a plumber. You looked at the wrong places, Queen. He has the license. He has the certification. People know the job. All the stuff you saying can be disproven, and it actually was. So there's that, and that's why I put that particular little thing in there, because this actually happened, Queen. That's what this live pretty much is. And you keep bringing up the GoFundMe thing, but that's an L, sis. It really is. I can't tell you no different. I'm not here to hold you accountable. No, it's an L.
Where I worked, he still knew where I lived at the time because I hadn't moved yet, and he knows where my parents live. So think about that logically. Why would I do that at the time?
No,
because you're still saying the same shit. What does this got to do with a license? This has to do with him deceiving people to get money.
No, it don't.
GoFundMe money.
No, it ain't.
So quit telling me how to do my investigative work because you don't want to be here and listen. You can leave.
Why wouldn't you when you go out? Okay, that's fine.
Now, I put this in here for this particular quote, not for what she's saying. So why do people keep bashing these women for falling for lies and manipulation? Hold them accountable for what? Don't you think they've been through enough already? This is ridiculous. Now, think about the wording of that statement. She just compared accountability to abuse. Is that painful for you, ladies? Goodness gracious. And I'm not talking about nobody on the panel, none of them women. I'm talking directly just in general about the accountability. Is accountability this painful to where you got to compare it to somebody choking and breaking into the house? Never mind. Don't even worry about that. The reason why it's so important to not just let them say stuff, Queen of Accountability, and I know why you did it. I get it 100%. To not just let them say stuff like give him a cooling off period, let him cry and take it back, is because that's how you get 7 police reports. This is what you got to understand. It's a lot of people who had 8 police reports, but that 8th one was the last one. You see what I'm saying? So we got to say something about it to these women. We ain't victim shaming them, victim blaming them, none of that. But we got to say something. It's another clip in here, a little like this, of a girl in your comment section doing what I'm talking about right now. So it ain't like you're just, oh, you men don't understand. Women do. Women do.
But I just thought it was kind of weird. You know, he kept kind of saying, like, kind of worried about that.
And now, y'all have to stop this. When you want it, listen, Cease was Rhoda, right? And of course, it was rightfully so because she was 100% lying. Now, she's right about this. He didn't produce the receipts of being fired or the abundance of calls that got him fired. Check this out. He didn't have to, though. He doesn't have to do that. I don't know where y'all get off thinking that people literally have to prove stuff to y'all. She jumped the gun and she was wrong about that particular thing. So the reason why people called it a lie is because she said that he wasn't no plumber and that he wasn't licensed and that he wasn't certified. There is literally a video debunking every single thing that her and MTR talked about on that conversation with them two. That's why she's being called a liar. She's not telling the truth about it. That's why. And it ain't even that she's lying. She just didn't do the work. This particular comment right here is what I was talking about. Like, this is a reality for women, and they always try to, you don't understand. If you have never been in a situation, you can't talk a way around it. So it's like, what do we do? Just sit here and listen to you vent while actually enabling it in real time? Is that what we do? I don't get it.
We finally get to the hotel. This is in 2024. Fucking
Aaron.
April, dude.
Aaron, do you hear this?
Sorry, I'm fucking sorry. We get to the hotel.
Don't be sorry.
I'm parking.
You don't have to apologize for being passionate about something that actually happened to you, unlike, oh girl. Now, Aaron, here's the thing about it. She told this story. We didn't put it in here because it was a little bit too graphic for the court. However, we believe her. Reason being, she's either the greatest actress, voice actress in the world, or you're guilty. I really don't think that it's people unsigned with no acting jobs or gigs who can just cry on command and provoke those type of emotions while they're speaking on a topic that actually has a police report. And the way she described this is pretty much, she didn't say all of this, but she pretty much said this stuff without talking about it because she couldn't get it all out. So therefore, dude, and on top of the fact that this is a month ago, 2 months ago. So this is the most important finding in the court. And the reason is because at this point, we don't care about not qualified in terms of the job. You're not qualified. You have recent history of being an abusive person, and you have history of being a vindictive person. So therefore, if you get mad at a client, would you, if they don't pay you fully or you get mad at them, would you cut their pipes like you did Trust No One? So you've shown that you're not trustworthy in a person's home, Aaron, and that you're malicious and vindictive. So you talk about that in that video, you said people bringing you back to your old life. I don't think you left too far from it. You couldn't have went too far from it, Aaron. Stop saying he doesn't represent all men. He don't. So we don't have to stop saying it. We'll just tell you one time and it's over. Black women were not allowed to say Carly and Rhoda don't represent all of us. We already knew that. Queen of Accountability made sure you knew that. It was the ones with common sense and the ones without it. So, and Carly didn't represent anybody. She didn't represent black women. She didn't represent any woman. If you ask me, that story only went viral because she said white baby. I don't know how y'all trying to make this a black woman thing. Black women didn't really do it. Some of these women up here aren't even black. The one that went viral wasn't even black. So I don't know how y'all trying to connect this to black women, but whatever, go ahead. So y'all trying to make this about all men, you ain't gonna get it. You're just not gonna work. So we don't have to keep saying it. We saying it one time, and you know it or you don't.
So this is what she posted on Facebook, as you can see.
This is from Aaron. You talk about employers, they do background checks aside from criminal. This is from 2 months ago. What about somebody trying to hire you and this stuff is out there? So you talk about somebody calling the job. Like I said before, it ain't about somebody calling the job. It's what they call the job and said. It's what they call the job and said. Queen of Accountability thinks they didn't call the job, but they actually did. She's wrong, but that's okay. It's what they call the job and said.
See, this was back in April. This was before the plumber became famous. So a lot of people said that these women came out when he became viral because he's rich. Wrong. This was posted on Facebook back in April.
That was what the one person who we're not respecting anything she said did. The other two were cool.
So these women were claiming this way before he became famous. Y'all see at the top, it says April 22. We know he didn't do the show in April. He did the show about a month ago. But yet y'all still won't believe Karma, right?
No, we believe Karma. I don't know who. Maybe it's somebody else you're talking about, but I don't know who don't believe Karma. She's telling the truth, and she's passionate about it. If she's lying, she got a future as an actress, so she'll be all right.
Here's the text messages, guys. This was between her and the plumber.
The court's going to just let this play.
The plumber is on the left, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is when whatever happened with the duffel bag.
As you can see, the plumber is admitting that he's drunk. So when she told y'all he was drinking, it sounds about accurate, doesn't it?
He's over 21, but that's neither here nor there. But I think this is when she's something about a duffel bag, because he keeps saying something about going to jail, calling the police. So it's like she did the little snitching or whatever you want to call it, whatever wording. And then he's saying, oh, you're going to go to jail for it.
Receipts. That's what they're called. Keep reading, everybody. It gets better. Keep reading.
I actually called him.
This
He's
is
lying.
your king. Your king. The humanitarian out there changing lives and destroying them too.
He's doing both. Two things can be true. But I don't actually think he was a real humanitarian. But, you know.
Keep reading, everybody.
We're reading.
And Karma, I wanted to ask you, he did threaten you a lot with the police. Did you get arrested?
Yeah, he threatened me a lot with the police.
Did you get arrested?
No.
Huh?
Did you get arrested?
No, he doesn't, because he fled.
Okay, and guys, on this.
That's not why. The police didn't find enough evidence and they didn't charge him with it, but that's in here. Or the courts is backed up and, you know, but that's not the reason that you gave.
This text receipt right here, he threatened to post them having sex. So this is called revenge porn.
Now, the court needs, hold on. Let the court find something real quick. Before we give our official opinion about this and our closing statement, we need to know. It's important for the court to get this correct. It's important for the courts to get this correct. Okay. This is that. The threat is you don't have to actually do it for it to be revenge porn. The threat to do it. And it makes it even worse because he actually sent the actual image. Like, she might have known that he had images, but the fact that he actually sent the actual image makes it more, because you could be lying. Like, maybe she didn't know he took it or whatever. You might not even actually had nothing. But if you send it, it's like, oh, I'm going to send that. And it further goes to show, Aaron, that you aren't a trustworthy person.
But he's a great humanitarian.
Nuh-uh.
We all love him. I need y'all to understand that this wasn't for humanitarian.
Now, hold on, wait. Let me, because y'all talked about this a few different times.
But he's a great humanitarian. We all love him.
Now, y'all talked about this a few different times. So I'm a bottom line it for you, Queen. You didn't do your full research, okay? And even if the money was for humanitarian work, you actually can't tell a person how to spend. They don't have to spend every single solitary dollar. It's like saying, I want to raise $25,000 for my heart surgery. If the surgery cost $22,000, I didn't steal $3,000. You know, and if you did your research, which I guess you didn't fully do, the idea for the GoFundMe was somebody else's idea. That's how it got so high, because people wanted to donate to it. So it wasn't that he did this on his own. Someone else wanted him to do it, and that's why it got the support that it got. You are basing your stuff based on Rhoda and him as his history. But like I said, we've already found it in the fraud case. In the case of him being a weirdo and a creep, the court finds you guilty. The court finds you guilty on 2 of the 3 charges. We find you guilty on trust no one's charges, and we find you guilty on karma charges. I think you really did this. And I think that the way that they wrote this is a light version of it. I think the way they wrote this is a light version of what actually happened. So you file. So yeah. And like I said, as far as the court can't, people like Queen of Accountability can conflict the issues. The court can't. When it was about the GoFundMe, we had to deal with that. He did not fraud. Okay. Is he we didn't discuss anything personal other than fired. Boom. All this other stuff wasn't actually part of that. This is its own case, and he's guilty of it. We believe what the women said. Y'all slid it in a few different times. I don't know how y'all try to make this about black women. He said women. Like, why y'all try to? He never said black women. Those words never came out of his mouth. So, like, literally, those words literally never came out of anybody's mouth that mattered. So why y'all trying to act like you involved just to try to be a victim of involvement when you're not even involved? This girl went viral, Latina. 2 million views on her video. And you think it's blamed because of black women? Which ones? On top of the fact, Queen, that there is an ex that has the information of his job. And she not black either. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know where this black women thing came in at. Y'all can quit that. So Aaron is guilty. We'll be back for sentencing. Court is adjourned. Rio.